DJ House of Pain, Sound Kind of Special. Bye. DJ House Pain. Sound kind of special.
Again, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again been listening. We say thank you very much for joining us this evening. Monday evening, folks, is going to be a very wonderful show. We want to thank all of you. We also want to thank God for giving us another day, and we'll continue to ask God to give us more and more of these days. We pray that God will be on our side and continue to bless us, all of us. Let us continue to pray for one another. Samson To, I want to welcome all of you again this evening. We're going to have a wonderful show, folks. After tonight, other people might be calling me different names. One way or the other, I will either be with them or they're going to say I'm against them. I love it when they do that. Either you say Samson To is with us or Samson To is against us. You can't say he's in the middle. That's not something that I'm willing to take. I will do my best here tonight on a very serious note, folks, to give you some wonderful news, because the area that I'm going to be going into tonight is the area that I don't take second seat to nobody except God. Because I train myself in this area and I know exactly what I'm doing in this area. I don't know everything. Don't get me wrong. I don't know everything in this area. However, You want to challenge me, you better be ready. Samson told LeBron Papa Radio. Folks, let us now go ahead and safety, folks. Samson told safety. We ask you to stay safe. Don't drink and drive. The police chief in Monroe, can be listening to me because that's exactly what he said today. Don't drink and drive. But some of the safety tape he gave, I have issue with those. But the issue is not with the police. The issue was with the people that fix the road that the police is asking people to be safe on. It's ridiculous. But anyway, we'll get into that. But I want to say, all of you, please don't drink and drive. Stay safe. God is with you. God loves you, and we all love you. So there's no reason for you to go on the outside of things. You're intelligent, you're hardworking. How else did you think you end up from all the way from whatever area you come from in Liberia to be here? It's because you're smart. Nobody is smarter than you. Nobody. You're smart. That's why you got here up to this time. You're still making good living because you're hardworking. That is your culture. You don't take it from anybody, and you don't let anybody take that away from you. That is your culture. You love hard work, and you're working hard. Woman, man, whatever. All of us will come here, we work hard. Yeah? So nobody's going to take that away from you. But why would you want to work hard and pay the police? Please don't drink and drive. Stay safe. Take care of your car, because the car is the means of transportation here in the United States and in most diaspora, in most of the Western world. Transportation means of transportation. You got public transportation, but many of us who want to ride the bus all the time, you're waiting for a bus. So when you stay here a little bit, after you get yourself a money, the first thing you want to do is go take driving test, pass your test, and then you start driving. Don't do like what my father used to do. He was driving because he taught bike in 1930, I think it was 38 or so. He used to drive in Freetown. So he said the fact that he knew how to drive in Freetown and they never gave him paper, that same kind of experience he can do here in the United States. So he used to drive with no license. True story, folks, in Canton, Ohio. And when police come in and pour the lights on, then he pour all over, pour on the side and tell the police, come pass by me, and I'm rushing. True story, that's my father, folks. And then the next thing, police gonna be calling me from work. Your dad, you gotta come in for your dad. You gotta take him home. Sometimes the police would take him home, and then they would come call me and say, "Okay, go get a car." Then I'll go and go get it. Next thing, he's back in the car driving, because why? He brown toe. More story behind that. And the police understand when you owe and woman and children, that you the people care for. So the people say, okay, the man, they go to court, the court say, okay, well, blah, 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 whatever. I will tell you that story on another time. By the way, don't do like my father telling police, come pass by me. Then when the police pull you over, he say, the people say, they tell my mom, the police people love me. Ain't like, brother, police people can carry door halfway. The people can bring me halfway too. True story, folks. So when I get home from work, my mom would tell me, your father too important in the control. I said, what happened, man? Oh, the police people brought him home today. God bless their soul. I really enjoy myself in this country, having two of them with me. I truly enjoy myself, and it was a blessing to have the two people with me. But anyway, let's get back to the story. Please stay safe, and tonight's show is going to be very interesting. Like I said, we're going to be getting into some issue here tonight. But before that, let me lay out the usual program here. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. We're here again this evening. To start with, this is the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Weah. And I'll be talking about that here tonight. People are going to say, oh, Samson Toe is with us, or Samson Toe is against us. I'll do my best. But anyhow, that is the President of the Republic of Liberia. Now, quite recently, you heard the President really going way out down to do a serious road construction. And this is a very serious one. We'll be discussing that. But before that, let's talk about when Dr. Weah, during the election, when he was walking in the mud in one of the major highways in Liberia. When it rainy, it cut off. So that particular time during the election, he decides to walk to see what does it mean to walk in the mud. And perhaps these are some of the things that inform his decision when it comes to road business. Let's watch this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio.
Just make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. Yeah, we hold it stay. I don't show the road, you must stay. We're going to junior that before. No, I beg you.
I'll go. Man, the Germans are still waiting for us. I think it's finished. Salome said, not done.
There you have it, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I will play you another video now. This video is Dr. Weah telling us that, look, fellow Liberians, you don't need to be praising me. If anything, I should be the one thanking you for the opportunity giving me to do what I have to do to make road connection a priority in this country. Anybody, I will do what I can to connect as many. I'm paraphrasing, and I'm allowed to do that. I said, paraphrasing, of course. I will do all that I can to connect as many roads as possible in this country. The next person that's going to come after me will find something else to do. Dr. Weah. I love it when he talk about road like that. I don't love it when he start talking something else, but this one I love. Let's watch, let's listen now. Doctor, we are going to tell us, don't tell me thank you. If anything, I should be the one to tell you thank you. Listen to this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio.
This is the right thing to do. Our country, it doesn't matter how many homes in that there, if no roads to connect, it's not completed. So I am happy with my road projects. From the capital to the hinterland, I will continue with the road projects. Anyone that will come after me will find something else to do. But I think that Liberia, being the first African Republic, also needs a road network. And this is what we're doing. You don't need to thank me, that's my responsibility. I need to thank you for making me to serve the country.
You don't need to thank me, I need to thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you in this country. That's Dr. Weah. Now, quite recently in the news, of course, you heard Dr. Weah. People, when they went to break ground for the Rawafi International Highway that is supposed to be made into 4-lane. And he, like I said, he's not an engineer, he's a policy maker. And he's not a technocrat, he's a policy maker. And therefore, he sets the policies, and they expect the technocrat themselves to implement those policies. Now, in the process of implementing those policies, the policies themselves, they don't just fall from the sky. He said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for the people of the Republic of Liberia that elected me, gave me a mandate to do certain things. And I think in that process, those that are supposed to be carrying out the policy, they're going to have to put the policy in a framework that is suitable for whatever it is that the president wants to do for the country. In this situation, the president most likely will ask the what the heck? What kind of foolishness is this, folks? Excuse me. That's the beauty of a live radio. Somebody on on the other side. This is a nice neighborhood when somebody was blowing horn. I thought maybe there was some issues with cars and what have you. So I went out, but the person just wanted to blow horn. But anyway, let's get back to the process here. Thank you very much for waiting. We appreciate it. We hope to captivate your imagination here tonight. And please, there will be some engineering terms that are going to be utilized here tonight, but I hope that you will stay with us. I'm not going to try to bore you. I'll do my best to give you the simplicity of engineering when it comes to these things tonight. And now you're going to know again, Samson To Bloku. He's on it tonight. I'm going to really enjoy myself. But anyway, let's go. So those that are supposed to be able to implement the policy, they have to put in the framework, as I was saying, so that the policy themselves will take the form of whatever it is that the president is suggesting. In this case, the policymakers, policy is set. Those who are supposed to implement the policy, and the video I'm going to be showing you here, with these kinds of video, they do not give me some sort of hope that these things would turn out to be good. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because the complexity of this upcoming construction of the highway, it is a complex a project, and you need people with a clear understanding of what a modern highway is supposed to be able to fully implement those policies and whatever it is that come with standardizing the modern highway. And with this kinds of video that I'm about to play for you, that does not give me any kinds of standing to trust in the decision-making process of those who are supposed to be carrying out the president policy. The president can only suggest, he can only say, I want this. And those who are there, they're supposed to carry out by formulating certain criteria that they put together and say, okay, this is what the president wants, and this is what we're going to give. Because remember, the president is not a technocrat. The president is not an engineer. He's not a construction person. But here's the one example here. Red light, they're doing some construction over there. And in the process of the construction, I will play you the video. The people were giving first of all, if I'm the one in charge of the construction area, those who are coming up with this kind, I will show you. First of all, these people will have to be lectured by me the next time My president come here and you're showing the kind of fancy stuff, I will deal with you. What kind of business is this? Because we're in Liberia, you think we're in a backward? Most of the people, they're educated. When you're on a construction site and you want to lay out the plans, what you call blueprint, most people would say it. But the plan they have there, it is not 24 by 36. They have half side 11 by 11 by 17. That's the half size sheet. But even if you're going to show the president half size sheet and the wind is blowing, you open your truck gate and you lay the paper down so the president, you can show the president. But look at them. They're going to be showing some paper in the wind blowing. They're showing the president the paper. How the president can even see that? Why are these people behaving like we have no knowledge? And these people are people, some of them were trained here, highly educated, master degrees, and they're going to do a presentation in school. When you're ready to do presentation, graduate, before you graduate, you have project. And if you're ready to do your presentation, you don't do this kind, they will flunk you. You say you're ready for school, man, go back to total, I'm not fully made there. That's the first thing they will tell you. But yeah, in Liberia, then people are going to tell us. And now what I want you to watch out of this video, there's going to be 2 segments. The other one I will play you clearly. They're now trying to explain to the president what they're doing, how much they cover in terms of construction scheduling, how much they've had done. And so in the process, they're going to tell the president, because of certain issue with LEC LIPO, we found out a LIPO in our way. And the president going to ask a question. So the LIPO, in a way, that means they're almost 75% done. And now they're just discovering that the LIPO is in a way. These are people who were asking to take on the responsibility to produce a complex project. A project that's going to have a roundabout. I think they're going to have to, because that's about the only way you're going to get out of EW, or even overpass. They're going to have to connect. I mean, you saw your rendering a video. They have an overpass and all that kind of stuff. If that rendering video, if that's what they're going to build, that's a F, to be honest with you, because the safety aspect of it is completely, I won't even call it. But that's not what I'm going to deal with. So let's look at this video, and then I'll come back to it. Within the next 2-3 weeks, I will go deep into construction process. I will start with the construction standard. I will start from the standard, then I will go through with the process itself, then I will go through showing you different equipments that are supposed to be used for the modern highway. And then you tell me what are these people can actually produce this. Yes, there's scary thing about this whole project here that I have. That if this thing is not done properly, we'll go from mat to mattress. Forget it. Did I say mat to mattress? Mattress back to mat. Okay? That's exactly what is. If these people don't do this work correctly, because I don't even think they have the capacity to do that. So, but I will deal with that. Let's listen to this. This is another project, red light project. And these are people that will be involved. Most of them most likely will be involved in the construction from public work, in the construction of the project. Let's listen to this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio.
Road embankment, we have this. The most important part is the pavement, which is the placement of the asphalt base course, which is what we're looking at now. We've gone 1.3 kilometers. So it means we have 7 more kilometers to finish with the first 2. Then our concentration will be on the intersection, which is the red light intersection, where we have possibly overpass. And then following that, the concentration will go on the next 4 kilometers, which is from red light to the EW junction. For that one, towards the end of this month, we start to compensate the project affected person. We start to pay them, and then when they clear, we start up the work. Overall, we look at the work being completed within 2 years because of the urban nature that we have. But I think the minister will relate concerning the level of challenges that we have. Like for example, in terms of the light posts, all right? Because in some instances,
The light
we
post.
have some light posts there, so that is a potential, issue that will delay, us. But we've been working with LEC in terms of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Road embankment, we have this. The most important part is the pavement, which is the placement of the asphalt.
Yeah, so the president is not asking so the light pole in a way. Let me play that. That's just a few seconds of that. Let's play that real one. So the light pole in a way, the president is concerned.
In terms of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of that. Yeah.
That the person who was saying yes, that's the Minister of Information. So the light pole in a way the president asked. Now in construction, please, folks, let's get this straight. First thing I want you to do is kilometer. If you want to change to miles, because here in the United States, most people use miles. So it's 0.62 mile equal 1 kilometer. So if you do that conversion, you will find out. So anyway, I got my calculator here too. So I'll be doing a lot of that here tonight. So anyway, so the president is saying, so the light pole in a way, say yes. The light pole is in a way. Having had, you just heard, they have 4.3 miles left. They have 3 miles after that. 4.3 miles left, and they're just finding out that they have a light pole that is in a process of their construction zone. In construction, now I'm not faulting these gentlemen. I'm not faulting anybody. I'm just saying by the time you get to that point in your scheduling, in everything else, the construction process is a sequence. You don't just go take your equipment, and start. No, it's a sequence. They call it construction staging. I'm doing this. While I'm doing this other one cannot be done until certain thing is done. In fact, that's what they call CPM. When you're planning critical path of what you're going to be, you do that not just roadway construction, in housing construction, for example. House construction, what are you going to be having in a house? You're going to have utility, which includes the plumbing. You're going to have lighting in a house, and in the process you're going to be constructing the house with bricks and things like that. So you set those things in sequence. Okay, what sequence that you can do, because you don't want to just do one here, then you finish, you do another one, then you finish. No, you look at the process, the material, the construction process itself, and you say, okay, I can do A, B, C the same time. But which one of those A, B, C carry the most day? For example, I'm going to put a breakdown for a room. This one room, to put this break in this one room is going to take me 4 days. But in the process, I can also, while I'm doing the room, the plumber can come and start putting up all of the plumbing fixtures and things like that. It's going to take the plumber 2 days. So while we're doing that, the electrician can also come and start laying out his wires and stuff like that. Remember, we're not connecting from the outside yet. We're just putting that in there. But the electrician wiring process is going to take 1 day. So I have 4 days for the whole room. I have 2 days for the plumbing. I have 1 day to do the wiring. So if I tell you now I'm going to be moving to the next step, among 4, 2, and 3, and 1, which one controls? You will say, but Smiles, you say, but Mr. Toe, 4-day controls. Of course. Because within 4 days, I should be able to finish the 2-day job, and I should be able to finish the 1-day job. Then I move on. But there's much more involved than just that. Okay, because you're going to start doing some addition and things like that. But that's how you find critical path. Which one of the process in this construction sequence that has the most, that if I can't finish everything else is going to fall down. So that becomes, you go from A, B, C, and it becomes a critical path. Which one? How do I finish this? The process itself, the critical path you follow, controls how this job is going to be done and when it's supposed to be done. That's how you do scheduling. Okay? Here are the people now. They're telling us that the construction they have started, they're just finding out that there's LIPO in the way. Well, first of all, if you're going to do anything, construction, this is rehab process. This project is not a brand new project. This is rehab. So in order for you to do rehab, they have other utilities. They have other things that have already constructed on this road, except you're making the road wider or you're making it more beautiful. But there are conflict. And in looking at this, they should have been able to identify the conflict within this construction process. And those conflicts should have been dealt with. Calling LEC, because, for example, the LEC, the government, like, own it, they can just take it and pull it away. You contact the owner of that property. You contact the owner of the utility. So you can make arrangement, because remember, their utility will always be in the government right away. You can't take utility and put on something to a property. No, I will not allow you. So the government set a right of way. And that's why you have all these light poles here in the United States. They're always right by the sidewalk. They're in the government right of way. The government have an agreement with the utility company to say, we're going to let you pay a certain amount, whatever arrangement they have, but they have to utilize the government right away. It's the same thing. And then if I want to widen the road and the utility company is already using my right away, I can tell them, okay, you need to move your utility. He's about to say something. I'm speaking as a government, but something, how am I going to move my? There's no room over there. I don't have right away over there. So I go as a government, then I go and purchase new right of way from property owner, an easement, they call it, construction easement. It can be temporary easement. Oh, Samson, told you going too deep in this thing. Take time now. Don't do that kind of thing here, I beg you. Okay, forget it. So then the government, okay. So, but the point here, I'm not going to go into all of that. But the point here is this: these people just realized that the LIPO is in a way. And these are people that you expect to do a serious, complex construction of a modern highway that the president is so proud of, that he's saying that this is going to be the gateway to Liberia. From stranger coming to Monrovia, they want to immediately look at this and they say, yeah, Monrovia, Liberia is good. But if you do not have the people to produce, what do we do now? The presidents have already made the estimate that he's going to do this. What do we do now? That is the question, folks. I just thought that I'd show you that and share this with you. Now, let's go to my main subject matter here tonight. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. It's going to be interesting. I told you already it's going to be interesting. Now, here is it. Folks, Samson told LeBron Public. Let's get on with it. Here is it. Okay? Construction. There's going to be a construction, 4-lane highway, modern highway of IRA to ERWA road. Right now, that's a true road right there. That's the ERWA. I mean, that's the highway, Ralphie Highway. It's only 2-lane right now. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of the design criteria that's supposed to be set. I will deal with those things later. So let's deal with this. So the president and the government of the Republic of Liberia has now decided they're going to go ahead and lay out and make this. First of all, they said this place is, the road is not safe. We agree with him. My good friend, it'll die on this road. So I do agree with them. Because the road itself, that road was built back in 1950 something. When they built this road, what you think the speed limit? Well, that's those days, maybe 25, 30 miles an hour. What kind of car people were driving? What was the speed on those cars those days? 50 miles or so, the mics. Nowadays, you step on the gas, before you go 60 to 65 in less than a second. And they're going to have, like, this is why like the Calcutta Highway is still the problem, because they took it as it was built in the 50s and put it right back. They didn't change the alignment. Now, please, let me explain to you, because that's a word that I'm going to be using here tonight a lot. Alignment. You see the paper that I have? I face it to you like this. So this, I consider the top edge of this to be in my alignment. So when I have this straight like this alignment can go either way, can go crooked like this and make a curve in it. That horizontal alignment. If I turn it upside down and face it to you like this, that becomes a profile. Now let me demonstrate and put my mic a little bit this way. A horizontal alignment is this. See my hand? It's a roll. So I can drive like this. I can go around like this. Now, if I take that same roll and start going up and down, the first one, when I start doing my hand like this, like a snake, that's horizontal alignment. When I start going up and down, like somebody sounds into drowning in Taiwan, we gotta water or kite or carway, then that's the vertical. Okay, on a very serious note. So this highway, the vertical alignment is bad. The sight distance on this highway, and please, that's another word that I'm going to be using here tonight. Sight distance. It's the distance that you apply to a driver as you sit in the car. Please bear with me. I don't mean to bore you with all of the engineering stuff here tonight, but just bear with me. You sit in a car and you're driving, climbing a hill. They expect your eyesight should be able to hit a certain position at all times. They measure the distance so that if another car coming to approach you, when they reach to that spot, because they have a distance, you will be able to see it. You can't see anything. You climbing the hill before you know the car coming right there. You can't see it before you know you're already in trouble. Side distance. Another side distance, vertical side distance, I just told you. Another horizontal side distance, when you're bending a curve, you can't see behind what's coming behind the curve. That's not a good side distance. You want to be able to see. They give you these formulas and they tell you how long your side distance should be. Those, I think, Ralphie Highway, they don't have that right now. So when the government said, and I'm not going to go any more than that, when the government said that it's not safe, those of us that have the engineering knowledge agree with the government fully. And so when Dr. Weir made the announcement that this is what we're going to do, I was jumping up and down. I'm fully on board with this. I agree that this thing needs to be fixed. Because here's the thing here. You have the young Liberians, sophisticated as I call, I've always referred to them, sophisticated, very smart young Liberians. They've been in this country for a very long time now. They have educated themselves, highly trained, professional, like medical doctors, engineers, lawyers. But when they go into work in the money, they go on the highway. They don't even think about what on that thing. They just drive. They've gotten used to it. When they're coming home, the only thing they're concerned with, rush traffic, rush hour. They traffic too much, man. They don't know what's causing all of that stuff. They know they're stopping and going. They don't like it. But that's something else I'm going to be talking about later. But you expect these young people that have trained themselves, highly educated, sophisticated Liberians, to go back to Liberia. And in fact, they mentioned that here. Dr. Weir was concerned was these young people, as they come here, when they leave Bergen, those are the young people that fly Brazil, when they leave Bergen, they come to Liberia at night, they get down here at night, it's dark. Then they say, oh yeah, I now reach home. Instead of say, oh good, I'm home, man, please, Jesus, thank you. No, yeah, I can't even see anything. I'm home now. So Dr. Weir is saying, we're going to put lights on this highway. We're going to electrify this whole entire highway and make it into a model, even if other places of Liberia are not quite to par. But at least the young people will be encouraged to let their friends that are not Liberian to be able to visit with them to Monrovia. Who among us would not appreciate such a wonderful, wonderful idea? And I want to thank the president for doing that. I want to thank the president for, that's his policy now. The president should be out of the loop of this thing here by now, because he's already set the groundwork. He's saying to the people, this is what I want. This is what the Liberian people have elected me to do. Give me timeline and whatever. So they're going to go ahead and go through it. I'm going to go into that later. So this is the new proposal, Rawafi Highway. So now here's his point down that this is the way Liberians that are watching me are going to say he's with us or he's against us, because I'm getting ready to play you a video here. I hope the video plays well. Okay, the stigmatic that been going around, people been crying about, oh Jesus, oh thank God that we go. All the people they've been playing this video. So myself, I decided to go and copy that and play it, but then I put my own favorite on it, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Now, this, like I said, this is not the actual road that is going to be built. It's not going to look anything like that. First of all, with all of the amenities they have, they don't have the money like to. If you do the if you do the road the way they have it, and you put all of the items together, they don't have money. They don't have the money to build that kind of thing. But of course, it's rendering, people drawing, people think what they think about the way it's supposed to be. And they decided to do that. So as an engineer, I look at it, I say, fine, it's just a rendering, just a schematic. I'm not going to worry about it, because I know when the true construction period starts, it's not going to look anything like that anyway. So, but anyway, just to amuse ourselves, and also to get us ready, to excite us, they decided to do that. And I'm going to now play that video for you folks. It's a very interesting video. And I love it. I love that video. I love this video here, folks. So bear with me as I try to play with my own favorite now. This is the proposed highway of Rawafi Highway coming from EW Junction. And it's a very interesting thing. But I will come back later, and then I will approach the construction and who are responsible to carry out this work. And I will look at that project and the responsible people who supposed to construct this what I consider to be a highly sophisticated road, to be honest with you, because we have not had anything like that before in Liberia. So the question is, if we never had something like this in Liberia before, where do we get the tools to do this work? Where do we get the expertise to carry out this complex construction process? This is going to be my $1,500 question here tonight. But in the meantime, let us amuse ourselves a little bit. Samson told Labron Public, let's see how far we're going to go with this.
D12 on the beat.
All I do was win. All I do was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. All I do was win. All I do was win. I say I jump over it. Now how you did by me, I jump over it. I say I jump over it. Now how you did by me, I jump over it. They will see it. I say they will, yeah. So you forced to let me. You not let me say you forced to let me. You forced to let me. You not let me say you forced to let me. Jehovah bless you, no man can curse you. When Jehovah bless you, no man can curse you. When I can go here with eat you, and when I feed it, it will hurt. When I need it, it will ju. All I do was win. All I do was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you was born to win, yeah. All I do was win. I do is win, 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 win. I say I jump over it. The whole you did with me, I jump over it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did with me, I jump over it. I say I jump over it. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. They can do what they do, and they can talk all the talk. They can do what they do. Hey, turn the fire, the person. Holy Ghost fire, the person. Turn the fire, the person. All I do is win, 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 win. All I do is win, 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 win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. All I do was win, 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 win. All I do was win, 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 win. They will see a koro with a BB eyeball. They will see a koro with a small eyeball. They will see a koro with a BB eyeball. They will see a koro with a small eyeball. Jehovah bless you, no make it curse you. Jehovah bless you, no make it curse you. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did with me, I jump over it. All I did was win, 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 win. All I did was win, 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 win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. Nobody can stop it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did with me, I jump over it. All I did was win, 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 win. All I did was win, 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 win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah.
Again, folks, I'm very much amused, to be honest with you. You know, the rendering, the video is such a wonderful thing. So I decided to put my own music on it because they playing music like my son, who is a conductor, the classical music conductor. And I'm from Totan. I know I don't know that one. I know who I'm born to win. But anyway, first of all, let me say thank you to the president for coming up with a wonderful idea. I'm not too sure if the idea of his is, but that's not my issue here tonight. For the president to take a bold step to say that he's going to do this role because he has recognized that this is a gateway to Liberia and that this role construction is very important. So to make it into a priority like this here, I thought that was wonderful. And I'm not about to play politics. No, I take it back. First, I was going to say I'm not about to play politics yet tonight, but I'm about to take it back because I'm a political junkie. I play politics. So I think I've been estimating, I've been saying it, I've been making a suggestion that I think Dr. Weah and his people, they will try to find some sort of an impact project that will impact the lives of many Liberians, and then they say, hey, look what we have done. But let's go on. So that's the rendering of the project. First of all, if this was a true video, the safety aspect of the roadway is so bad, it's unbelievable. What they have in the middle, they have guardrails on both sides. I'm not too sure if they're going to use Midwest or what, but that's not even an issue. Whatever they're going to use, that's fine. But they have guardrail on both sides. In the middle, they have what we call tri-beam. And a tri-beam, double tri-beam is like guardrail on both sides. Sometimes they turn it inside out. Sometimes they face one another. It depends on how you want to do it. What are the criteria, safety criteria involved? And you do those kinds of stuff based on the accident rate in a particular area and what have you. So that's the rendering. That's something. And they have the wonderful goal area, but the goal area for me is so long, it's unbelievable. But that's like I said, that's just the rendering. So I'm not going to question on that. Now here's the issue here tonight, folks. This is what I also want to talk about on a very serious note. The president had put up a policy, sent out a proposal. Now it left with those, specifically public work, to come out with a design, to come out with a company, a construction company that will be able to do this complex work. So, 2 days ago, I called my friend who was an engineer in Liberia, and I asked him, what's going on here? You guys involved? And the engineering in Liberia, the engineering community in Liberia, they struck over this, to be honest with you. And he was telling me, look, some of us proposed to our colleagues, the Liberian Engineer Society, to sue the government. To sue this government because what this government have done is ridiculous. The design, according to this, to my friend, he said, and I'm not too sure, I'm not there, I'm just giving you what he told me. The design, he said, is being done by folks, Italian company. The construction was given to another company, and I'll deal with that here, a company called East International Corporation, International Group Corporation. And I will deal with that. I will show you some of their work here, with their handiwork. And he's saying, why is it that Liberians are not involved? You know, design aspect of it, you got a lot of Liberians that do design build work in Liberia. In fact, most of these round-time construction in the Addis are done by Liberian construction, or sometimes they subcontract them out they contract it out to most of the time the Lebanese, and then they come out and subcontract if they want to use Liberians. That's up to them. So my friend was very, very distraught about this. And so what can I say? Nothing. This is what the government wants to do. So the government have selected, I don't know who the designer is, and I'm looking into that. But the most likely, I sent an email, a text message to the Minister of Public Work, because I have his number here, and this is what I wrote to the Minister of Public Work, Minister Fambutu Nyimplan. I said, Minister Nyimplan, my name is. And let me make it light. But I haven't gotten any reply. He said, my name is Samson Bito with the Liberian Public Radio. If your schedule will permit, we here at Liberian Public Radio would like to have you as our guest on one of our radio TV programs. Discussing with you will center around the infrastructure activities of our country, Liberia. We believe that you could provide more credible information about this subject matter, since you are the chief architect of our country infrastructure program. And I said, check us out. Nothing yet come back yet. So hopefully we'll get them, and they will agree to join us and have that discussion. But the government of Liberia, when they went through the groundbreaking process, they decided to choose this company. And this is the only building that this company is known to being addressed or whatever. It's called East International Group. And this is a contractor that is charged to do this work, this complex work. So the company, you go Google them, you're not going to find a website for them. There's no Facebook page. There's no previous work. You can find previous work, but 1 or 2 pages, that's about it. Okay? East Construction, East International Group. According to the story, this company came to Liberia back, I believe, 2010 or something like that. They came, a Chinese company that was there to supply building materials, vertical construction material. Vertical, which is building material. And for some reason, according to the story, during the former minister Judy Moore, who went to the Senate, I've also invited him a couple of times. In fact, he threatened to block me. That the next time I send him stuff, he will block me. So he's a friend. I'm friend with him on Facebook. So I see most of his posts sometimes. And he's a very smart young man. That I gave him. Very smart young man. But during his tenure as minister, this company was giving contract to do a specific amount of road connection in Liberia. And according to the story also, that one of the reasons they were pushing this company was to do former President Salif road from Monrovia to her village, to do a paving project, and that was part of it. So they were pressuring the legislature to ratify that particular process, but there was other projects involved. One of them is a redemption road. Now, the redemption road, if I remember correct, is the road that leads from behind the executive mansion, goes up and go through behind the former BTC, Barclay Training Center in the beach. And I will show you the road here. And it goes and connect to right by Attorney Tatman Stadium, go through PHP. Okay, I drove on that road when I was in Liberia quite recently. So anyway, I followed these people, and one of the issues they have was that they were not consistent. They came out to do pre-finance program. In other words, they would tell the government, give us a project, we'll pre-finance it, and after that, when you get the money, you pay us. So the government let them do a lot of pre-financing, and there were some jobs, many jobs, they didn't finish, they couldn't finish, and they left, according to the story. So one of the famous jobs they had was the Banga Broad Street. And for some reason, according to the story, not much information on that, but they couldn't finish it. So they brought in another company who then decided to mess it up, and they brought the company back, what have you. So, but that's because there's not much information about this company. Okay, now let's look at this company. And I want you to look at this thing very keenly. This is the redemption road. Okay, this is the redemption road. They did concrete pavement. And I'm not fond of Liberians doing concrete pavement, except for the concrete pavement they did on Somali Road. That was neat. But I'm not happy with that either, because if you look at the side of the pavement before they connected it, they have so many voids in it that those voids, one filled with water, that road is done. One water get into that, it's going to seep out one way or the other. And concrete, if you have pothole in concrete, you're done. Concrete pothole is not the same as asphalt pothole. So anyway, but what I want to point out on this here is you see the kids playing soccer in the background, way out, you see the executive mansion. But what I want you to look at here is this, the edge of this pavement, where the young man, two young men sitting on it. Now, why would you put a road like this and leave it as such? If you're driving at night and for some reason you run off the road, your car is not coming back on this road. This thing is about 8 inches high. Once your tire falls out, you're not coming back on the road. You're going towards the beach. So even if they don't provide shoulder, you have what they call shoulder backing. You can put if you just want to be ridiculous, this is more ridiculous than what I thought. You can put little dirt from the edge here and slope it down until it becomes zero to the existing ground. And that way, if somebody is driving, they get on that, they can get back on the road. You're not going to call it crack recovery zone either. But at least you provide some safety. But look at this. These are people that is being selected to do a complex highway, like as important as it is, Rabafield International Highway. And these people are doing this lane that is not anything more than 25, 30 feet wide. And they can't even provide some safety aspect of this road. And this is the construction company that is being selected by this government to do a complex highway, a 4-lane highway. Okay? But we'll get into that. So I'm not too sure what type of pavement type they're going to use, whether it's asphalt or rigid. I don't know that. But I'm just showing you their handiwork. Let's look at another handiwork for them. Okay? Now this one, it's the same Redemption Road, but you can't see it clearly here, and I will try my next time because I'm going to go deep into these people construction. This is supposed to be the same Redemption Road. What you see on the right hand side is the finished product, and what you see on the left hand side, they have steel rod, whatever. I'm not too sure, wire match, whatever. I'll call it wire match. Okay, but what I want you to just look at it. The whole entire row, you can only count 1, 2, 3 people working on that row. You don't see any kind of working equipment anywhere around. These are people that's supposed to build Robertsfield Highway. These people supposed to build Robertsfield Highway, folks. How are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? Do they have the kinds of sophisticated equipment that is going to require to be able to construct a 4-lane highway? Okay. Now, somebody wrote here earlier and said that Sam, his last name Sam, said that he has done survey on that road. I'm not too sure. I did survey a long time ago. So okay, that's fine. So I'm not too sure what are they going to be using for this Robertfield Highway. But these are some, and I will come out Friday, Wednesday. I will do more of this because I'm going to go deep into construction process Wednesday. This, I'm just laying out a case here tonight. But this is the company that the government of the Republic of Liberia, East International Group, to do a national highway that is required that is going to be put down from Robertfield all the way to EWA. And I hope, and I do know, most likely it's going to require them to put in a roundabout. How do you get out of EWA Junction and go straight to Robertfield? You saw these people putting some things out there in their rendering, which I'm not too sure if all of those things are going to be applicable or what have you. But this company here, another interesting thing about this company, let's go to their history. They went to Banga to do some work. And for some reason, the story is kind of murky, to be honest with you. That there was not enough money or no money to pay, what have you. But my understanding is that they got kicked out. Because their workmanship was so bad. So worse of that, the other company that came to replace these people was worse than that. But to give them credit, there's other places in my research where Liberians were also praising this same group. Because one of the reasons they were praising them, according to the story, was that they were willing to do pre-financing. Because the government of Prophet, and this is the bad situation. This is bad. This is bad. I don't believe in this pre-financing nonsense. Because if a government, you don't have the money, don't put your mouth where your money is. If you don't have the money, leave it alone. But you have people doing pre-finance. If the people are doing pre-finance, they are in control of your roadway. They can give you what they want to give you. You can't say, I can't pay you. Who are the people that are going to be inspecting the Rawafee Highway? Do they have the ability to truly inspect the safety aspect of this highway? Let's go a little bit deeper. And Wednesday, I will show you more of things that they're supposed to watch out for on a roadway. I'm not even going to go two-way. I'm not going to go 4-lane, just two lane. You have the underneath. First of all, you need to have a survey, a complete survey. You must establish the right of way. Number one, you have your right of way, then you do a complete survey. A survey is a series of points, giving just point, and then you can go into the design software and create elevation. And after that elevation, you create a topo map. In the topo map, which also consists of contours, and the contours are a difference in elevations as the ground go up and down like this, because you want to know how deep, how wide, and all the kinds of good stuff. So you must have a complete survey, and based on the survey, you go into the design program. And I believe this government, they're not going to change this alignment. They're going to keep, you see that center line? Now, I'm leaping over now because I'm not too sure if that's going to be the alignment. But there's alignment for this road. Alignment is the point where you start all your construction. From this point on, I'm going that way. From this point on, I'm going left. From this point on, I'm going right. From this point, I'm going left. I'm going 6 feet right, 6 feet left. But the way your point of reference is the alignment. And the alignment comes in two forms. One is horizontal alignment, and the other one is vertical alignment. The vertical alignment is the profile. And the profile, it controls a lot. It controls a lot. The profile, you will be able to give you a good vertical sight distance. Where if you build your road, you don't have what they call the driveway effect. Because most of the driveway, you don't need sight distance. So when you're driving, sometimes you come and your oil pan hit the bottom. And that's why you try to avoid on the highway. You don't want, when the car going down, the headlights of the car must be able to see a certain distance. Oh, folks, if you're an engineer, you enjoy yourself. Must be able to see a certain distance. And that distance comes about by providing certain vertical profile. And when you do that, if you have a decent vertical profile, your road is good. Now, and I'm not going to pull punches here tonight. Are these people quite ready? What is the design? Who's the designer? So Samson can talk to the designer. Okay, so when you provide a survey now, based on the survey, first thing they're going to create triangulation, where you have 1 point here, 1 point here, and they draw the line from this point. It goes to point A. Let's say point A, B, C, and then you got a line from A to B to C back to A, and then based on that, they can tell you what the contours of that area is, and the contour allows the designer the most important part of designing. How do I get the water out of this area? And it comes about by getting a decent survey. Because once you have the survey, you can do all of your calculation. Hydraulics calculation comes about. Where do I drain this water that's coming out of the road? Where do I put it? And if I put it here, how do I convey this water from this point to point B? All of those things must be taken into consideration. It's the company. The company, do they have the ability to do that? So let's just say they design, they did a good job and what have you. Is the company able to implement the design aspect of this project? to be able to truly provide the 4-lane highway with all of the safety aspect based on astro design criteria. What's about the construction? Do they have knowledge of ASTM construction process? Do they have the knowledge of that? Because in order for you to do international standard, you have to do with the ASTM. Okay? Those are things that I will be looking to. Now, my concern is, first of all, this company don't have a website for people to go and review their previous work, and according to history, they don't have enough to show that they have the ability to actually construct this project, to certify many Liberians. And here's the interesting thing: this particular highway, even including the government themselves, they also believe that this is a very important highway. People from Sino County, people from Maryland will use this highway. People from Sino County will use this highway. People from Riverside will use the highway. People from Grand Bassa will use Mount Gibby will use this highway. And of all, stranger coming to Monrovia will utilize the services of this highway. So you can't just have people building this thing because they're friends. They must have the criteria, the construction experience to be able to do this work. They must have the equipment to be able to do this work. They can't just go and say, I'm going to go rent an equipment to do this. Because in construction, especially in Liberia, equipment will break down very easily, especially in the summertime, when the dust starts going into the engine and everything else. So you must be able to have a complete package as a construction person. People that have on payroll, the mechanics that will be able to fix things immediately. They must be able to have the towing truck, that if a truck is or whatever is broke down, they can get it out of the job site, take it somewhere and fix it immediately. Folks, this is it's more than what we think. People dancing already. Oh, this government will do this. Yeah, I agree. But they're much more involved than just showing me some kind of a rendering stuff here and thinks that this is the highway. Far from it. Far from it. Far from it. So let's just say the government going to follow the alignment. 4-lane. You got 2-lane already. And if you're going to follow this alignment, do you make this 2-lane your first highway of coming or going? So then, here's the other thing. If you do that, you're going to have, now if you say you're going to take this 2-lane, you're going to add another 2-lane on this side, which I don't think they would do. Because first of all, they don't have money for new right-of-way. It's going to cost them tons to be able to purchase land. The Liberians are sophisticated. You got some young Liberians here in the United States that bought a land on this particular highway, and you can't use eminent domain to take somebody's property. In Liberia, they will sue you as a government. And let's see if you think you're going to win because you want to use eminent domain. What is the emergency? Is this road, if the road is not built, Liberia not going anywhere, show me an emergency that you want to use eminent domain on me. Ah, Samson told. They're much more involved. So first of all, I give my hat out to Dr. Weir. And I thank him for coming up with that idea, even if it's not his own original idea. But the mere fact that he wants to implement this, Dr. Weir has done his part. But those that are supposed to implement the policy must be able to put all of these things that I'm talking about, put them together into one single objective. And that is for a completion of this job. Safety aspect number 1. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper. So I told you already, they're going to do survey. I'm not too sure if they already have it. have they already have the right of way for the addition? So say this road here that you're looking at right now, I don't believe they're gonna leave that to say that's one way, that's one lane, I mean 2 lane already. We're gonna find another way and put another 2 lane here to be able to have. I don't believe that. This is most likely what they're going to do. On the left side, they're gonna add another lane. On the right side, they're gonna add another lane, because now they already have that. But if they the interesting thing if they do that, because now then you're asking me if what I'm suggesting, if that's what they're gonna do, then the yellow line becomes the center line of the highway. So if I was involved for drainage purposes, because here's the interesting thing, and either way they go, this road you're looking at, it's not going to stay. They're going to bust it up and make it new, because they're going to have to provide positive drainage. Right now, the road you're looking at, they most likely in Liberia got 2.5% crown. So the yellow part you're looking at right there, they have 2% going this way like that, and then on the other side they have another 2%. So you have a road like this. What you're looking at over there, just for drainage, they have a crown in the middle. So if this is a crown, you can't come and put one lane here, but you got to bust it so you bring everything down. This is what I'm suggesting, and this is what I think most likely going to happen. They'll go ahead and bust this road up, but keep the alignment. And if they do that, another interesting thing here, and don't dance. Don't just look at this thing and start dancing. Oh, we are not doing it. Far from it. His press, Dr. We are done with his part. But those who are responsible, they must think critically. There's critical thinking that will make this thing work. They got bridges already. How do you connect? And those bridges, they're too lean. Aha! So now you're going to tell me, Samson told we're going to use that one bridge as one lane and then build another bridge as another lane. But guess what? When you build it, one side now, so that means you're going to have to curve that road to come back and meet your existing. It's going to be interesting. Don't start sinking and crying on Facebook. You got no clue. You have no clue what this thing is going to be. You have no clue what this thing is coming to. This is going to be an interesting construction process. Is International, I don't see them doing this work. In their redemption, when they did the redemption road, you know what they were using for the concrete paving? You know what? You know the guy here back in the days, they call Paul Boignet. They use a big axe. He was using a cut tree when you watch the cartoon. They have what they call Bunyan striker. And if you watch many Liberian concrete paving, they use what they call Bunyan striker. And the Bunyan striker is that long tube that they put on the edge of this, and they run out the whole length of the road, and they drag it and go back and drag it until they meet whatever they did. The interesting thing about the Bunyan striker is you don't see people having vibrators for concrete, because the reason why you use vibrator in concrete for you to have a connection between the rocks, the sand, and the concrete paste itself. So when you do that, you bring the water out of it, because the concrete is a mix of sand, gravel, and water, cement. So when you shake it, when the vibrator go in the blue, they bring the water on top. At the end, have you heard the water floating before? That's how you do it. The water come out and you float. You do this, whatever floating you people do for concrete to suck the water out. But one of the interesting they do in Liberia, and tomorrow, Wednesday, is going to be an interesting show. Don't miss it. Samson told, don't miss it, because I will show you that when you do these concrete roll, and then Judy Moore go over there to he's a smart man, don't get me wrong, But when you don't know anything, say, I don't know it. Why would I say here and tell you, say, I know this, but I don't know nothing. He went to some years ago, when he was minister, he went to the legislature and said, right now, he make a pronouncement that I just can't find the video anymore. But he made a pronouncement. He's a very smart guy. He was reading his stuff from his phone. He wasn't using papers. But he made a pronouncement at the legislature that from now on, Liberian road will be concrete. And here's the reason he gave. And I laughed that day. I went to work and I shared the information with other engineers, especially the Nigerian, the Congolese engineer. We were laughing. He said, we're going to use concrete road. Why? Because concrete love water. And in Liberia, it rains all the time, 6 months. So the concrete going to be strong. And guess what he said? I said, Judy Moore, if he watching, I say, yeah, that's what you say. If I lied, go prove me wrong. But anyway, this is what he said. He said, look at the bridges. Their pier is always in the water. But here is what he doesn't understand. The makes design for the highway road. It's not the same makes design they use for the piers that sits in the water. It's two different things. Two different things. And that's why when you're driving on this concrete road, take your time and look at it. They have the grooves in it. They're called tiny. They have the little machine, tiny. They put the grooves in it. You know why? So the water don't sit on top of the concrete. The water go a little bit inside. But at the same time, while it's there, your tire don't get mixed up with that. Because to obtain friction in the rainy season between your tire and the road, it's difficult. So they put these tiny grooves in it to take the water away from the road. So you didn't know. Water stay on your concrete, then you're wrong. Water should not stay on your concrete. But anyway, let me get back to this. So here is the interesting. So when you do this, they have the bridges. How do you now connect the bridge? The bridge they have right now is 2 lane. So what do? Do you take this 2 lane highway and say, okay, that's going to be our middle? If you make that your middle, you have a crown road already. So what do? You're going to bust it up. However, one of the interesting things, this is going to be an interesting construction. Don't get me wrong. And that's why I'm suggesting the government of Dr. Weah must go back. If they truly want to produce the complex highway, unless they want to give us something like Carter Morea Highway, then that far 2 lane that way, they don't care. That's fine. Then they can do that. But if you think you want to produce a true modern highway, the construction company that don't even have a tenant pole. I say tenant pole. You know what they call tenant pole? It's in the real English, it's called pen. But in total, we call it tenant pole. Oh, folks, I'm telling you. But anyway, I'm not going to go into it. I will bring all of those things up Wednesday. I'll start, like I said, Wednesday, I'm laying my case right now because I'm going to be on these people. You can't do this to us. We're Liberians. We're human beings. People die. We all can die. So if you're going to give us something, if the president of the Republic of Liberia have announced to the whole world to say, I'm going to do this, and every Liberians are so happy and laughing and crying and say, thank you. This is the first time in some of us, our lifetime, that we'll have this kind of modern highway in Liberia. Give us somebody, a construction company, that will be able to do a decent job. What do you do with your water on this road? What is the drainage capacity of somebody? Don't come on the Ralphie Highway and get me the open trench that you put in Monrovia calling it drainage. This jungle guy in the city of Monrovia calling it drainage. Don't get me that on this Ralphie Highway. Give me pipes. And make sure that these pipes, oh my goodness, make sure these pipes, the outlet of these pipes are well served where you're going to put energy dissipator. You know what an energy dissipator is? And why? Why do you put energy dissipator in it? Energy dissipator is, you got a pipe. Water coming shooting out of the pipe. If you leave it like this, the water, what they call hydraulic jump. Oh, please, Samson, why you want to do this? Don't forget hydraulic jump. I'm not going to even go to that. By the way, water coming out of the pipe. Okay? Not full pipe. Water, if you have full pipe, if you do your hydraulic calculation and you have a full pipe, it's failed already. Okay? But the water coming out, as the water comes out of the pipe with force, once it leaves the pipe, remember now, you're taking, folks, yes. Think about it. You have this big area and you're forcing all of that water into that little pipe or whatever pipe, whatever size it is. As it comes out, it tends to go out like this because it like freedom too. Water like freedom. So when it comes, but then it shoot high. And when they shoot, it doesn't go too far. It shoot not too far from the edge of the pipe. So they once it hit, that's just fluid and hydraulics here. Once it hit, it try to come back up. You know, see it? Water hit, and then it try to come back this way, and then it starts covering all underneath your pipe. But when after you put a pipe, you put some boulders, rocks. So as the water come out, it hit that rock. It slow it down. That's why they call it energy, because the water is coming in, it's coming out with high energy. But the rock dissipate that energy. That's why they call it energy dissipator. True. I'm not making it up. I'm very serious. Okay? So when you have that, all of those things are taken care of. So you don't have the scratching situation, water coming and all the erosion. Dr. Weir and the CDC-led government, please investigate more. Open these things up. They are Liberian construction company that might not be able to provide that type of equipment. But guess what? There are other company, international, well-recognized company that might want to use Liberian construction company. Come through them. And I know what I'm talking about. When I graduated after school, I went into construction. I have my own construction company in Ohio as a minority contractor. I got money to buy all the equipment there. So I registered as a minority contractor. So when the big construction company, when they get their job, then because in the minority contracting business, you have to have 10% set aside for minority company. So they will come to me. Say, okay, we want you to do X, Y, and Z. We'll pay you so much. But they never paid me the 10%. You think if they were giving me $1 million, $2 million contract, and they were giving me 10%, you think I would stay here with you? Between the, by the time laying down total, 10% of $2 million, by the time in total laying down, but they refuse to do that. True story, folks, but that's a different issue. But anyway, so these big international company, they will come if you open it up, truly to open it up for bid. The international company, they also want money. And once they know that donuts, the international community is willing to pay for this, and they do their research that, yeah, international community, they will come with all the equipment and they will bid for the job. Don't close the bid and select somebody overnight. Please. We passed that stage. Open the bid up. Let those that, and when you open in the big set of criteria, this is a major highway. Don't cut corners. After you finish making a pronouncement, Liberians all over the world are dancing. Then you're going to come up with East Construction, East International, that have nothing to show us. Nothing. They come over there, like somebody said the equipment that we are on was a borrowed equipment. For goodness sake. Even if that was East Construction equipment, do they have the capacity to build this project? Let them show us what they have done, similar projects. And in fact, why don't you try to find a company that perhaps will save you money? You're begging people for money. You're begging. Liberia got that kind of revenue to produce $95 million to build a highway like that. And by the way, the length of the highway is about 28 miles. Go back on the drawing board. And your legislature, please do something. It's not like you hate the government, but you're doing something for the future. My goodness. Most of you call yourself rich people in our country, and we don't have good paving company. Why you can't even put your money together? I don't know what kind of money you got, but put your money together and form a company. And the government will be forced to deal with you. But we're not even doing that. All of the contracts to the Lebanese. You think the Lebanese man will keep the money in Liberia? He will go to Lebanon and build. Since 19 they used to have LPA in Liberia. I was part of that LPA. At the end of the month, then they take money from you. Those people continue to get money out of that country. But we're not looking at it. We want to give contract to Lebanese or Chinese because we believe they will do the work. There's a company that they were using, that Ellen and her government were using. In fact, I might understand they build the Harper Highway, and people are happy about that. Why are they not being used? These are people that have already demonstrated to the Liberian people that they're capable of doing that. In other words, they have the equipment. Of course, that's a Chinese-owned government company, but who cares if they can do the work and you're willing to pay them? Why select the company that can't even build Manga Broad Street Highway? 8-inch of concrete, and they're putting wire mesh down. And this is the company you expect to build a complex of the highway, 4-lane highway. The 4-lane highway. But I'm not going to touch that. Maybe the design is done. So they have certain criteria set. My friend who was an engineer told me that they did some traffic count some time ago on this highway. So perhaps based on that, they're coming up with a structure section design based on the amount of traffic and future prediction of how many traffic going to be going in that area and what have you. So they're already coming up with a structure section. So I'm only going to attack the process of construction. So if you're going to do all of this, do they have the ability to understand hydraulics of a highway? It's a very interesting dynamic, folks. Okay? So these are things that we have to understand. This government must not and should not select somebody overnight. Because there's a lot of story we're hearing about this East International, the selection process. I'm not going to go into that because I have no concrete proof. I'm not going to speculate or based on rumors and things like that. But we've been hearing a lot. But all I'm saying is the government, they must open it up, public bidding process. Don't they have what it calls PCC or whatever they call themselves? That look into these kinds of process. People who bid for the major contract and the government entity, they have an entity that's supposed to look in the background of this type of contractor. Do they have the capacity? You have people like Saleh Rock in Liberia, the contractors. They have Mr. Djibouti has a contract, has a lot of equipment. Why are these people not involved? And you're going to give us East International, which is a Chinese-owned company. So let's just look at it this way. The $95 million, how many of that going to stay in Liberia? If you were successful paying these people, so say they're capable of producing, they're capable of working this highway. How many of the $95 million going to stay in Liberia? Why don't we think for ourselves? You're going to the international community to beg them to finance a project that is going to be done by the Chinese-owned company. And the company already have a shady record. People will not trust them. So the international community, of course, they're forced to give, and I've used the word forced. They're forced to give you money. Liberia coming from civil war. So let's give them the minimum that we can give, because they're going to waste it anyway. That's their thinking. So they give you the bare minimum. That's why you can't get what you want. Because first of all, they don't trust. The corrupt behavior in the country is ridiculous. And not only that, you're going to come and make a speech. The president make a wonderful speech in this country under my watch. I'm paraphrasing again. Under my watch, Liberians will not be spectators in anything in this country. And here we are. Liberian engineers are not even involved in the design. Who's going to do the actual maintenance work when these people are done? Say, for example, they're successful completing this work. How are you going to maintain the hydraulic, the drainage system? Because the pipes, sooner or later, they're going to start crawling up. How are you going to maintain that? Do we understand the maintenance process? These are the same engineers from public work that I showed you here the last time. Don't even have the decency to ask contractor to be safety minded. They have all of these steel rods sticking up, and they have my president of the Republic of Liberia, walking around with a pipe sticking, with all of the steel rods sticking up, no cap on them. So why, God forbid, why if my president stumble and fall on one of those steel rods, what are we going to say now? My goodness, Liberians, where are we going with these things here? This is just ridiculous. And once again, I want to ask the president and this government to seek the intervention of a true international construction company. Back in the 70s, now I wasn't an engineer by that time anyway, but Gibraltar Bridge, I'm not too sure if they still call it Gibraltar Bridge because that bridge name has been changed. They even call it San Jacinto Bridge one time anyway, but that name has been changed so many times. But the European that came to build that project, they brought in some equipment that some of us would have never seen before in our lives. And you could hear, when you're on Broad Street, you hear, those are the pounding of the bridge, the pounding the steel until they reach bare rock. Now I'm an engineer, I understand now. But those days I said, what do people come over? They're making noise in the morning. People, I thought I was in sleepway. They're making noise every morning. People can't sleep. After I finished doing all my granating at night, I was sleeping a day. The people building that bridge. Yeah, they were pulling the steel in until they reached bare rock because they wanted them, and that bridge is still there. Okay? Those people give it a talk, then they didn't cut corners. They find company that will be able to do the work. How many bridges has international East International put up in Liberia that you have record of? And you expect them to come and do this work? Most likely, East International, they're gonna go and subcontract this thing to other foreign company to come and build the bridges for them. Why can't you make Liberian the contractor, and then they can sub it up to foreigners? But at least they get something to eat too. The people are hungry. What? Yeah, what kind of business is this? Y'all no more. Y'all eat because the vice president said that our time. Where's for the other people? And on a very serious note, let me don't make fun of this. There are many, and I get my hat out to these Liberian engineers that are in Liberia. They can't even get a job to be able to maintain the payroll. Then you're giving a Chinese company with few Liberians in it. You're giving them that amount of contract. Why don't you mandate them to share that contract among Liberian contractors? So say, for example, 28 miles. Okay. Let them, if you love the Chinese so much, that's good. Thank you. We're free country. But let the Chinese say, okay, 28 miles. From here to there, Sansinto, you do this one. From here to there, Peter Brown, you do this one. And spray it out. So every one of these Liberian contractors will be able to get something to eat. They got children to feed. They got children to send to school. Why aren't we thinking like that? Why aren't we thinking like that? How do you boost the economy of the country? You give all that money to a Chinese company. How many of that dollars, of $75 million, how many of that are going to stay in the country? How many? How many dollars do people say, okay, after they finish, when you get them their money? First of all, do they have house in Liberia? Okay, so if they do, they pay taxes. So if they do, they bring whatever. But most of that money going to China and not staying. Why? Why can't we think to say, okay, even if Liberians do not have the capacity to do this thing, let's do a capacity building. Open it up and ask the Liberians, contractors, to say, okay, we want bid from you, but you try and contact international construction companies that have the ability to do this. So say, for example, they go and get an international company. And I think out of the $95 million, I think they said something like 70 some more million dollars will go for construction. So out of that, the foreign company that comes, they take $50 million. The 20 some more million dollars stay in Liberia. There's not enough money there. These people that are in Liberia, the Liberian engineer and contractor, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to Ghana. Some of them will leave from there and go to Nima County and build. They will leave from there and go to Cape Mount and build because they have money. That's economy building. But when you do all of these, but just for one or two people business, look, I say two people, I put 4 finger up. Sounds into man, that engineer talking, he know nothing. No, but a very serious business. For few people business, they cut corners. Okay, I gave you, because the international community is going to fund this project. So you give the company a contract. Okay, you give that contract to them. They take maybe $2-3 million and give it to you. The rest going in for them. And they give you some sort of a substandard product. 4 or 5 years down the line, it's gone. The same thing. During Madame Salif's rule, they said they were facing Kakata-Morea Highway to alleviate the traffic accident. From west to ridiculous. People die now on a highway more than the day before. Because the Liberians believe the highway is fake, so that means they can speed. They still have not eliminated, they were not able to eliminate the sight distance. The curve that Tommy Bolan died on. The curve. The radius of that curve have not changed. So now you're asking Tommy Bonan that were driving those days with a lower speed car. Now you're asking Liberian with the same alignment, same curve, same radius of curve, and you're asking Liberian now to drive their car that are faster than before. And you didn't change anything. Those are the same thing we're talking about. So I'm saying to you, the government, to look back again, to actually go back and say, let's open this thing up. Dr. Weir has done. He's done his part. He has brought it to the forefront of the Liberian psyche now. Rawafi Highway, according to the president, is going to be 4 lane. But those who are responsible must be able to do that effectively. I'm going to go ahead and take a break here. Today, I don't even get my commercial on. Anyway, I'm going to take a break because I want to connect my analyst, Mr. George, who will join me here. Mr. George, let me see if I can stay here and do that. Okay, all right, he's not on. Okay, Mr. George, I send Mr. Amos George, if you're listening, I send the whatchamacall already. So just look onto your email, and when I see when I hear the click, then I know you're on. But let's go on. Then I will open the line here very shortly. I will open the line up here very shortly. Folks, Samson told LeBron Pub Radio, and like I said, come Wednesday, I will. Okay. All right, Mr. George. Oh, folks, hold on 1 minute, please. Samson told LeBron Pub Radio. Hold on. Okay, Mr. George is joining me now by phone. We're not going to be able to do video tonight because these things are a little bit complicated than before. Mr. George, are you there with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Okay, you heard me making some ridiculous accusation here and all kinds of statements. Don't make sense to nobody. What have you? What say you, sir?
Well, that's not a ridiculous statement. That's why we need this whole project. We have to be on it because tomorrow the Liberian people, the one will pay for it. And anything the Liberian pay for, we must make sure it is done properly nowadays. We're not going back to the old days. Yeah, it's the issue here. Their company here, you go on the internet, you don't find anything about them. What is their track record? What is their track record? Uncounted. 2.7 mile road, they couldn't finish it. They couldn't make it. Now you're taking 28 mile road, 4 lane road, and giving it to them. Now, the Ministry of Public, I think, got some requirement that it comes to meet financially. I think that requirement, the company should have at least 25 or 15 million in the account. What is this country financial record? Because when you are awarded this kind of contract to company, they must show that they got some money to start this project, whether 10%, 15%. They must show it. We are not seeing no financial record of this company. Now, the another issue here. How the bid was done for the project. We only saw the Minister of Public was saying this is international got a contract. This is something that I'm going to be paying $95 million for. You don't see our nation that we see all the players in this contract that they bid, who are bidding for the contract. What is their experience? What is their record? What they have watched? Who are the engineers behind this project? We didn't see nothing. Overnight, they just came and announced, this is it. Now, they expect us to buy into that? No. And I'm clear. Front page, other people now come out so much information about this company. They're raising eyebrows. And the government must go back. I know we're seeing it. It will look like defeat or shame for them. But we think they must go back to the drawing board. They should go back and look at this international company. They communicate as a building material dealer in Moravia. How can they get the kind of look at the contract in Moravia? How can government officials are getting kickback for this project? That's why I'm posting. Kickback. That's what they're getting. And they expect about 4.7 million people, 2 or 3% want to take couple of million and put in the pocket and forget about 4.5 million people in the country. It is absolutely wrong. If we are paying money for anything, it should be of standard. So when you buy quality product, you don't regret because it will last you longer, even though you pay something more for it, but it will last you longer. So this road project, we cannot just say, oh yeah. I know many people are happy on social media. Many people don't like it. They don't like people question this road project. When you talk, they say you're not for development. It's not because the person made it for nothing or want the road so we accept anything. No. That is our country. If it is a contract, it must be given to a reputable company. And I always ask this question, why Liberians are not involved? Are you telling me the Ministry of Lands and Mines, probably they don't have surveyors? They don't have these people there? The Mamuti Yiban graduate from the University of Liberia, he did engineering. Is it seen that nobody graduated from that school in the engineering department? Who are the consultants on this project for the government? Who do they have? And they have to, what is the repetition? What is the criteria that you have people to be consultant on this project? There are more questions now to be answered pertaining to this project. We will not leave this project just how we did the Ebola loan issue, that how we should be on this project. Because the government is not forthcoming. I'm listening to that, I cannot authenticate it. But for Honorable Kesulu, he said that the project during Ellington, it came out of 54 million or something like that. But the government now came back and said they would not go into that contract until certain things can be rectified. And he made mention one of those things was that the country must agree to take all the resources from other construction companies and divert it to this project. That was one of the conditions. And when the company did agree, the price now come out to 95 million now. According to one of our guys, I don't know if it's true, but those are some of the things that now people we are looking at. And Mr. Toll, it is good that we have an engineer that will educate and enlighten the public. Because if now we're talking to you, the engineer, and you're demonstrating it. So let us see. Let it come and challenge you and say, no, what it means is not true. These are our facts. Let it come and challenge it. Let the Minister of Public come on your show, or the Minister of Information, let it come to defend this contract and defend the work of these people. But I know when we sound like that, they say we don't want development. Yes, but we have to say what is true. The days of we letting things just slide and people business around our business, no, it's over. And we're urging the government to make this record public. Let us see the bidding process. Let us see the track record of this company. Let us see the engineers. Let us see the consultant. We have to see these things. At the end of the day, it's our resources. It's our tax money. You leave it out and taking 95 million and putting it in the hands of Chinese. What will happen to those people? As you are saying, why they couldn't ask the people to also, you know what happened? These are here's the bid, here's the contract. You get a bid. Let's see. You can contact any international firm. But that firm will be subject to you people. You can negotiate with them. And come back to us with a blueprint, with something, let us look at it. Now, the issue, Mr. Toh, about pre-financing, here's the dangerous thing about this pre-financing. The government will serve as a guarantor because the government is telling people go out and get any loan from anywhere. But the question is, when we talk about the financial thing, if that company fails, who should that bill? It's the government like Liberia. So in other words, if this international cannot do the job, cannot complete the work, and they have borrowed money, and they fail, it's the Liberian government that will take the responsibility to pay that institution. This is what's happening. And which is wrong. These people must show up a financial record that they got money somewhere. that if something is wrong, you can go after them. Who are the subsidiaries? Do the company got anybody out there that they say, look, you know what, I mean, when things go wrong, you can contact the company. They are sister company. So you can contact them, nothing like that. So how do you want us to take $95 million United States dollars and give it to these Chinese people that they got no track record for? We don't know where they're coming from. No, I think that we are government. Small shit is better than big shit. They must go back to the drawing board. And I'm urging every Nigerian, be it CDC or opposition, let us get on this issue until the government can be transparent and open to the Liberian people. Because at the end of the day, we are the one going to show up this bill. And not just the bill. People's lives are involved. People's lives are involved. I think, look at that area. I think I don't before you get to Liberia Francis Farm. I think, yeah, before you get to either Liberia Francis Farm, I don't want you going. When it rains, the water covers the quota. That swamp, that red, that flat land, the water covers the quota nowadays when it rains. It covers the quota. All these things. What did the engineer tell the people about our area? What are they going to do? And we don't have anybody that will ask me hard questions. And what is the committee on public works in the House of Legislature? Who are the committee members? If anybody in Liberia knows these people's names, you please put the number on Facebook so we can call them. So we can ask them. The people who are on public works committee, so we can ask them how this contract was awarded to the East International. These are the things. It's not just person we have won, but we should be holding the law member accountable. The Committee on Public Works must tell the Liberian people how the bidding was done, how this contract awarded. The Committee on Public Works, my people, you put the number out so we can call someone into action, because this is Liberian people's life and the money. I understand the passion that person we are. He got to build roads. But equally so, the road must meet standard. It must meet standard. You can't build a road today, next weekend, the water now watch half of the quota away again. I have seen it. The Canada Motor Highway. I was there 2017. By the time I come back, somebody, the driver, had cut some of the road. Already the water washing away. And this is hard money. This is how money the Liberian people pay. So we will not second to allow people just to get contract on the car or that man. When you get up, minister say, oh, this is a company, reputable company. But Mr. Minister, what is the track record of the company? Who are the subsidiaries of this company? What is the financial record of this company? The engineers, who are they? Are they Chinese? Do they have Liberians working alongside? We don't know. So how the contract was awarded? Let the minister come and tell us. And if they cannot, then let it go back to the drawing board and put another bid. But I bet you that will not happen. All what we're seeing here, it may not happen because you know what? These people are already getting a kickback. Before they sign our paper, they got a kickback. So they will say we're making for nothing noise. Okay. But let us make our noise so tomorrow the Liberian people can know that where we stand on this issue.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, Mr. George. We appreciate it. I know you're busy. That's why you're not able to join us through video tonight. But thank you very much for your analysis. We appreciate it. Your own view as well. Thank you, Mr. George. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the voice of Amos George, who is LPR analyst here as well, giving us his view here this evening. Folks, what we're trying to do here, once again, I'm Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Most of the thing that I try to bring up here is not to accuse or to say that these people don't have the government has a mandate. They can do just about whatever. The election have consequence, folks. There's no question asked. And once I, as a liberal progressive, do believe that this government is duly elected, I can't sit here and say this government must change their behavior. That's not my problem. If anything, well, as a member of Liberty Party USA, all I can say is they're giving me lots and lots of ammunition for the upcoming election. But that's not the point here. The issue here is about us Liberians. And as the fact that I'm an engineer, if I see these things, I must be able to talk about it. And once again, if the international East International Group, if they have the website that some of us can go and view their previous work, it will be very helpful. Because remember, I'm Samson told the last time here when Dr. Weir decided you were going to bring Ibovman into this coastal highway, I was here singing the praises because I went and viewed Ibovman's website and saw the amount of equipment and saw the kinds of work they have done all over West Africa. I was very impressed. And I told Teddy Horn, I wasn't going to give into pressure from other people. But here's the thing here. The East International Group, I have not seen any track record. So how do I go about saying they've done this and do that? All I can go on about here is the redemption role and other role like their involvement with the Banga Broad Street. And like I said, come Wednesday, the intent here and what I will continue to do here is to enlighten you. Come Wednesday, I'm laying out my work now. I'm not going to go much into design. Of course, I have the ability to do that, but that's not what I'm going to go to because they're not showing us that they're telling us that this work is getting ready to go to construction. So obviously, the design phase is done. They're into construction phase now. And so I must approach it from a construction perspective. And I have the ability to do that as well. Okay? But I'm not saying that whatever that I say here, this is the end result and I'm this. No, far from it. There are many Liberians that are just as qualified and they can make comments and do their own thing. I just thank God that we have Liberian Public Radio platform where I can come up and make my own observation and comments, whatever it is. Let me put the number up and I will ask you to give me a call here, Samson to Liberian Public Radio, where we will be able to have my analysis done. So give me a call here, 916-533-2048. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Do not disrespect me. Folks, the number is there. Give me a call here, and we can have a conversation. And one of the things that I also want to point out about this role here, come Wednesday, folks, I'm going to go a little bit into construction details in construction. So the reason I'm doing this is not for me to show up. Who's going to pay me if I do this kind of thing anyway? Nobody. Help you. I ain't got money to pay me. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah. Good morning, Brother Toe. I'm Bernard calling from Australia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. This. Thank you very much. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I want to make a point,
Please.
The topic is so Your topic is so interesting. But I'm a little bit taken aback from ELIBERIA to Ralphie there. I think it's 42 miles, right?
To be precise, it's about 28 miles. If you run, it's 27.8 something. If you run it out, it's 28.
Okay. Okay. I think I will run it up to 30 miles.
Okay.
If we assume that from Ralphie to ELIBERIA Junction is 30 miles, then I think that the whole contract is supposed to be 30 million. Because my memory can tell me, 1 mile is 1 million. How come it went to that figure to 90 something?
Let me just disabuse you on that very quickly, and then you can go ahead. This is a 4 lane, so I'm assuming they're paying this per lane mile. So there's 4 lane, so 1 lane, 30 miles. Another lane, 30 miles, that's 60 miles. 1 lane, 30 miles. And then another lane, 30 miles, that's 3. Okay, so that's like 120 miles. You see what I'm saying? So if you're going to that, if your logic is $1 million a mile and they're paying by lane mile, then obviously the government, they have a good deal. Let's put it that way. So I just thought that I put that in there. But go ahead, make your point, my brother.
Yeah, okay. As I was saying, I live in Ghana, and I used to patrol. I used to go through the from Ghana to Nigeria, and they used to have some French company, even in the Ivory Coast, from France. And George Buddha is a man that played football in the era, well known there. Why he could not bring some French company? Because the reason I'm saying there is, when Ellen got into power, right? 2009, Jamaica road were paved. All the river roads there were paved. But within 8 to 9 months' time, Kota started all damage. It started busting, So what I'm trying to say, the Chinese people, the Una road, I think they built so far. I can get on the commendation. It's a Buchanan road. If they could choose that same company that built Buchanan road from Cotton Tree, then we can ride ashore. But I don't know which one of the Chinese companies they gave the road. Because the previous people that built the road, there were no valley protector. When I was small boy, right? There were no valley. But all the valleys on Buchanan Road, the valley, they put protector there. And the road is guaranteed. But the particular company, and you understand, I believe they don't have no access to say how much money they get. Maybe in case like what you were explaining, if anything happened, what would be the outcome of it? And you understand? So, and to my preliminary point, that money is too much because we just calculated it from a layman point of view. 30 miles is 30 million. Another 30 miles is 30 million, 60 million. Then the road went, because you can't tell me, say, they say 4 lane. Oh, okay, it's 4 lane. 2 cars coming, okay.
So that's why they call it lane mile. It's 4 lanes, so that's 120. Yeah. So if what you're suggesting, if we're gonna go by it, then you have to praise the government.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, then what I want to say to the government, my appeal is, I think they should. It is now that they bring some other company in, like the French company. The French company, they build the road in Togo, Benin, and those roads are guaranteed road. And you understand? Cotonou, you go there, all the places. I used to go there, I spent 1 week, 2 weeks. They were building the road there, and those roads are guaranteed road. But you see, the Chinese, they came in Liberia. They started building road. Look out from Jamaica Road. You understand? Other road there. You understand? All the road then, brother, they all damaged. Even as we are speaking now, they say from Vatan to Douala, all the road been damaged. You know, we need a guarantee, maybe 20 years, 30 years.
Let me since you're calling all the way from Australia, let me do you a favor here to understand the road construction and the road design issue. I'll just give you a little bit what they do with the road business, the way they come up with it. They call what they call TI, which is the index of the durability of a road. So what you do for a road, for example, you got Douala from let's just say from Cloudtown or from I don't call it Vitown all the way to Douala. So then the first thing you want to do is study how many cars travel that road a day. They call it a daily traffic consumption or something like that. ADA. But anyway, I'm not going to go deep into that. But anyway, you count the traffic. Yeah. Then when you count the traffic, then you go and apply the formula to say, okay, within the next 20 years, how many cars will go on this road? Based on that, then you design the structure section. The structure section of the road, how thick the road should be. And based on that, also you put in a different calculation that involve trucks, buses, all of your heavy equipment, okay? And based on that, then you design the road to stand for 20 years. Most road design in the West, in the diaspora, most of the road are designed for 20 years. The TI is always 20. Now you have some rural road that go with TI 10, okay? Because those are things. But the most important thing about road business is the maintenance of the road. You can design the road for 20 years. If you don't maintain it, the bush going to carry it, especially in Liberia. But you have to have a maintenance program that will be able to periodically maintain and go out and inspect the road to make sure all of the cracks and things like that are filled in, because eventually there'll be cracks. Eventually there will be pothole. You can't do away with those things. But if you have a good maintenance program, then you don't spend more money to try to rehab the entire project. You just go and maintain it. And in this country, sometimes they have what the saw cut, the concrete road, live for that part, build a little bit. They call it patch road, and just like a checkerboard, they patch. Because they don't have the money to do everything. So I just thought that since you live way in Australia and calling in, I thought I'd do you a favor by giving you a little understanding of. Go ahead.
Yeah. You talk about maintenance. You see, Buchanan Road. This is why I suggested to our president. For me, I'd like to see good things happen in our country. Buchanan Road, the people that built it previously, the German people, right? They had a maintenance place there on the Buchanan Highway where they used to anywhere where maybe they see some where the road damaged, they go and do that maintenance work. They call it MTC. It was on Buchanan Highway. Those people who can remember in the 70s, in the 80s, etc. So the government, what I'm trying to say, let the government bring in a good company to build the road, maybe from France, and then there should be a toll booth right there. You see in Ghana, the road pay for that toll pay for the road. The car that are using, the free thing in Liberia should be eliminated.
Okay.
You understand? They should abrogate those free things. Whole lot of people, economic migrants come in our country, they get made use of our road. They bring their car then they making money and they're going back to pay their country. So what I suggest to the government should build a toll booth when the Ralphie Highway, the Banga Highway, they roll from Monrovia to Sierra Leone border. Government should invite toll booth with a truck, private, a car. Everybody should pay with the exception of the government car.
Thank you.
And taxes, so that's my suggestion. That's the only way the country can move forward.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
And then the money. the money that will be generated from the toll booth will pay for the road itself. Thank you.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Thank you very much, folks. That makes sense as well, because if you put a toll booth on a new highway and you got Liberians, sophisticated young Liberian traveling from the United States to Liberia every day, so they will expect to be paying the toll, but you can't take the toll money and go build your house. There's we're suffering, my people. There's an article in Front Page Africa where the Florida Department, the FDA, they're collecting taxes, and they, according to the story, they collect the taxes and put it in the manager account right now in Liberia as we speak. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 4, 5 years ago. I said right now. So how do you do these kinds of stuff when people are willing to take money from Liberians? Even here in the diaspora, go to the Liberian community organizations. All of our issues is always money. Only few organization leadership, and one of them are watching me right now, that don't take people money. Sam Sinto, Liberian Public. Give me a call, folks. I'm going to be taking a break here very shortly. Not break, but I'm going to be taking a leave of here very shortly. Folks, how do we look? It even come out of my mouth. Somebody, Victoria Mayala, just saying that half of that money will be going in their pockets again. We all know these things. How do we get out of this? How do we get it? We can't go and ask the European to come and colonize us. We can't go and have other foreigners to come and rule our country. Only Liberians. But how do we get out of it? You have a president that come out and say, I like this role here to alleviate a lot of issues facing the Liberian people, especially when it comes to rule. And you got people who are not counting the future. How do we get rid of that? So that's a Samson told Liberian Public Radio, where your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
Hey, Mr. Toll, this is Kemu. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Thank you, Kemu, for joining us. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, I just tuned into your program not too long, and I listened to the last quarter, and I just want to buttress it, but in another way.
Go ahead.
Concerning the toll booth.
Yeah.
I would recommend if they are listening to me right now or listening to the Liberian Public Radio, that the toll booth that will be right there, that will, or vision, government cars should also pay. It shouldn't be like government car can pass free, because fast they can't pass. Yeah.
Wow. Every one of us know these people gonna trap. Basically, my brother, I don't mean to interrupt, but basically there is no trust. There is no trust. We got zero problem. Go ahead, my brother.
In Tampa, we have seen government vehicles be used either to cool block planks, and we ask them to that government property, and government don't receive nothing from the cool they traveling with or not. So if they will be told boot on the road and they say government car will not pay taxes, I'm telling you for free. People will be using government vehicles to transport people, and when they get there, they say that government car, you see the passenger sitting, everybody sitting looking at the toll man. He say, "Oh man, that government car, all they put on carrying it to government function," and that's it. So I'm a voice to that brother, but saying that government should pay, government vehicles should pay. And the next thing there is that, the story you talk about, Red House story, I feel so bad. The thing is, if everybody know about it in Liberia, everybody know about it, but people don't want to talk about it. Even those who stealing from the government, working within the government, they are the same people complaining the government can pay them. Government can pay them when they diverting government taxes into their own personal use. So you see, I don't know how people will do that in themselves for government to pay them, and the government itself sit there and do it at a bigger scale. That is the big boss then. So is that everybody like, hey, but I'm not doing their own, why we can't do our own? So at the end of the day, we just in the same circle and running around. I understand what we're doing. And I just want to add my voice, and I thank you so much. I missed a program, but I will listen to the Halico. I'll watch it over when you're done.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll encourage you to join. Come Wednesday, we're going to go a little bit deeper in the process itself, and I will try to bring up some the equipment that need to be used and things. And it's still going to be challenging the selection process of the contractor. So we will encourage every one of you guys to join us Wednesday. We'll do our best. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Alfaro.
Okay.
So thank you.
Again, this is Samson to LeBron Public Radio. We're here discussing the president proposed highway, super highway, I would call it, 4-lane highway, never before. Oh, no. What do you mean by never before? I got 4-lane highway in Grand County from Town to Wembley Way. No, folks, I just thought I'd put some funny. But on a very serious note, we the intent here tonight is not, like I said, I told you guys already, I have a high degree of respect for the engineers in Liberia. They're engineers, don't get me wrong. Some of them can come in this country or go any other part of the world and still make decent living as an engineer, but they decide to stay. But my thing is, if you decide to sacrifice, then go all the way. Go all the way. Implement those things that need to be implemented so that the next generation that will come after you will not have to suffer. If, say for example, if people like Gabriel Tucker there, if they are cut corner on that bridge, what do you think would have happened today? That bridge won't be there by now. That bridge would have been gone. And then we start all over. But if you're building something, to build something, the process itself is difficult. Look at this enjoyment we have in the diaspora, in the European and Western world. They didn't come overnight. There are people who sacrifice. They make things. Look at us. What do? We beg every day. You want to tell me, okay, think about it. My goodness. Think about it a little bit. Before the so-called civilized people came, how were the people living back those days? They have iron. They used to make cutlery. They used to make knives. They used to make hook for women to plow their farm equipment. Where did it come from? How did they make those things? How did they make them? When I was growing up in Totan, we used to have an old man Guba. He has I don't know the English name. I'm not gonna make it up. But you put your hand in goat skin. They have the goat skin. They have the long wood, and they put the goat skin. They put a hole in them, and the whole two of them go into the fire, and they have a goat skin. You put your hand. I used to enjoy that. You put one hand and another one, and then you go fuku, and it actually blows the air and put fire. The fire core put fire on them to heat the iron up. And the old man, very old, he would take the iron. I used to go over there and just have fun with it. What the old man do? He take the iron and just forge the iron. You want to tell me we don't have people like that anymore? That will be able to forge iron and be able to produce something in our country. And nowadays, it's much, much more easier. You have all of the old cars that people can take the real iron from. How do you think they make copper then? So what makes you think that Liberians are not capable of producing? It's just that we want to be somebody just hand out. Just hand out. Give us. Sooner or later, people are going to get tired giving you. And when they give you, you don't put in you. It's like they give you, then you eat it. There's nothing there. Then you say, give me again, I want to build. They say, I just gave you the other day. How come you build it? Sooner or later, they're going to come down to that. And these things going to hurt the next generation. Madam Sally came in and killed us for 12 years. I've been saying this. I don't hate her. If you've been watching my show all these years, I never call her name. I always refer to her as mother of the land. But she killed us. She did not put in place structure. The only thing she did, according to her, is provide for peace. And I've said no. Nobody in Liberia, not even ECOMO, not even ML, were able to give us peace. The peace we enjoy because Liberians wanted peace. If Liberians want peace, they will fight. They used to fight before, people were dying. It's not like they're scared, but they wanted peace and they were tired of fighting. And that's why we have the peace we have today. It's not the government security apparatus that were forcing people to maintain peace. Far from it. Because Liberians themselves said, no, we don't want any more. Whatever it is, let's have a discussion. No more war. And that's why we have the peace. But she did not put in place structure. The woman killed us. Kill us. And now we expect this young leadership to now put in place structure for us. It's not going to be easy. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, brother, I'm the same one because you're talking about infrastructure and maybe since I left, one other guy called, nobody called him, so I just decided to.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. You see, 2001, 2002, you see, when I was in Nigeria, then I decided to pass through the Cotonou. You see, Liberia, Monrovia, and Cotonou was on the same level in terms of infrastructure because to the border, semi-border, is the old city, they call it Porto Novo. There is a big river divide, Cotonou, which was built by Mavi Kariku. But you can compare that place with Monrovia. But when I went back 2010, my brother, you see how the president, Ayoboyi, the way the guy built the place, and Ellen Johnson, look, Ellen Johnson never did anything, no infrastructure she built. Look, I don't know, and those people, what they depend on, they don't have no resources. Only their boat, Cotonou, you can quote me, only the boat, the Nigeria rent that boat, they have to bring their goods. Look, they put a basic 24 hours because they put a Papa Port, Nigeria. When the other ship then go there, they will be on Angare for 1 month, 3 months, 2 months. So the importer, those that import the goods, they prefer using Benin port. And then they bring their truck and load their trucks with their goods, carry a canoe, Ibadan, and other cities in the east. But what I'm trying to say, we need a president that will love the country.
We have one already. We have one, sir. We have one. And Dr. Weir, I can assure you, Dr. Weir really love the country. I know that.
From the preliminary stage of Dr. Weir leadership, I get a big a problem with that, right?
Okay.
He extended the leadership and he erected 42 units, right? And then 16 billion got missing. Okay? 25 million. We need a president with proper accountability that we can talk to him, but not to suppress opposition.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You can say we cannot go back to those Idi Amin days. Those days are past.
Okay.
This war is a global village. This war is a global village. And the president will get is only focusing on one aspect.
All right.
Listen to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
He went to. You don't want me to talk? Or?
No, go ahead and finish your story so that I want to close it up. Well, go ahead and finish your story.
Okay.
You're calling all the way from Australia. Go ahead.
Yeah, George Weah went to Burkina Faso to meet the president there, right? And there was a ribbon cut, a 175-mile road. That the new president that they building that road and building. But the local who squatting to SKD community, that land they never bought it. They just there because I grew up in Monrovia, I grew up in Logantown. They squatting in those in our swamp, and that place is just half kilometer. Then the people dancing there, and that's the road. he need to do more for the people. Thank you, because you said somebody online. Because for me, I wanted to get some good point. Okay, thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you. Join us Wednesday. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Right. Again, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm going to go ahead and call it quit for the night. It's been a very interesting evening. And once again, let me just point this out. The engineers in Liberia, like I said, I give my heart out to them because I think they're doing a wonderful job. However, I also must admit to you that when these things are happening, if I have the opportunity to express myself, I will do so. And what I'm not going to do is to make up stories. What I'm not going to do is to say things that I don't have knowledge of. And that's why usually when I come on, I start talking about economic issue. I stick with what I've been reading. I'm not going to say it because that's not what I do. But those that are responsible, especially in the area of engineering, they're not helping us. But anyway, folks, tune in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where he will, Alfonso Soul, that is, where he will come out and give you more information, enlighten you more. Always, as usual, give you some interesting subject matter. But tune in Wednesday, we will come back. And Wednesday, show, hopefully when we come back, in God's name, when we come back, hopefully we'll be able to display more of our knowledge when it comes to construction. Because I'm not going to deal with the design of this road. I will bring some stuff up. Some construction issue will be connected with design procedures. So those kinds of subject matter will be brought up. However, my concentration on Wednesday will continue to be construction. And I'm asking the government to say, finally, I'm asking the government, if they're listening to me, that they should open this thing up, open it wide, so that you will have international contractor that have the experience will want to bid. That's not small money. $95 million, that's not small money. But they will want to bid because they have the capacity, they have the equipment. 28 miles is not a small road. That's just one. So you're talking 4 of those 28. That's not easy stuff. You know how many equipment going back and forth? It's going to be a lot. And obviously, and most definitely, you're going to have equipment breaking. And you must have a complete staff, from construction people to people who would do work, to welders, and because these things can, and the equipment, the construction equipment, they're not how do you call it, car. If a thing break on it, big stuff. So most of the time, not something you can just take wrench, screw, and say you're done. You pull it out and pull it out. No, in order to take, for example, the teeth, the bucket on one of those excavator, you can't just take it out. You're gonna have another bucket pick it up. So to the excavator themselves, you're gonna require excavator. You're gonna require some earth moving equipment because it's gonna be intense. They're going to cut some hill and fill some valley. Definitely. Because if you don't do that, then what's the point? What's the point if you're not going to cut the hill down for you to achieve on the super highway to achieve some side distance? So then you're going to have to cut the hill and fill the valley. If you're going to build a bridge, how do you do the approach slab? You're going to have, especially if you're building the bridge, what type of bridge they're going to build, I don't know. What type of piers they're going to use, I don't know. Floating foundation, I don't know. I'm not going to go into those things because I've not seen their design. I'm not going to speculate on that. I've not seen their design. What is the structure? What is the structure design they have? Who did the bridge structure design? Okay, all of those things, and what are the safety aspects? How do they intend to tie the bridge to the safety of the road where you put guardrail, what kind of tying system they have, and the lighting condition, the bridges that are gonna be have some light pole. What conduit they use to pass all the wire through to be able to put. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Because it's not like the light in the house. You pull the wire through, the light comes on. The switch must be turned on somewhere far off. So how do they come and run all these things? What conduit they're gonna use? What kind of lighting? Electrical wires they're gonna run all through? It's gonna be interesting. You can't have people that come in that have no experience in these, and then you say you're gonna do it. Then it's a joke. It's a joke. And I don't think this president, he doesn't joke around when it comes to road business, folks. And I would say that. So those of you that are responsible to implement the president policy, please don't joke us. Don't play around. Don't come select a construction company overnight unless you're going to tell us that this construction company seriously have a serious subcontractor that knows how to do these things. But if it just East Construct International Group alone, then you're joking. Samson told LeBron Paparedo, the number is out now, so let's go ahead. Samson told, I would say good night to all of you. We want to appreciate all of those that have been writing in. Well, the show usually starts around 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern time. So those of you who want to come in on Wednesday, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. A lot of video going to be up here that I'm going to be showing. And most of the video, in fact, all of the video that I'm going to be showing, they all can be found on YouTube. I'm not making anything up. I tried looking for my own video, my work that I did here one time, the design that I did, and the construction was happening. And I went out there and took some video and explaining the process, my design process, and what I was expecting out of the contractor. And the contractor, they stopped everything and let me go through with my stuff because I was there to inspect. And so the respect was there. Yeah, because they know Total, man, design their road. They better not fool around because I would tell them they close the road and bring somebody from Total and cut the road in California. I'm from Total, Liberia. We Liberian people, you don't play with us. I can't in California. I hear in your state building your road. Them people then suffering over there. Then when I finish building, they can't get me beam up. I tell you, stupid. Yeah, sounds it though, and they don't pay you. Folks, I tell you that if you want to tune in on Wednesday,
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on don't. We not broken, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not broken, we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. Alcohol, alcohol, back then alcohol, alcohol, and the build is on me. Back then alcohol.
Suku ogere